Play Piñata Picks and Minute Madness, exclusive games with insane odds you can't play anywhere else. Make your next bet with Sports Interaction. Download the app in Ontario or use the QR code that you see on the bottom of your screen, or even head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN to get started. 19 and over, please play responsibly.
Speaking of those hockey games and that Tampa series that you know for sure you're going to be covering, well, the Leafs have home ice advantage in that, so we know that for sure. But the Lightning, a couple weeks ago, we kind of wondered what was wrong with them, and now it seems as if they have a bunch of injuries just piling up. And I mean, they kind of look like a wounded animal, but also at the same time, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning who know how to play in the postseason. Like what's your read on them right now? And then we'll get to the Leafs and the fact that they seem to be healing as well.
Well, a little birdie told me, just for those keen listeners that might care, that the Leafs Lightning series will start on the 18th. So Tuesday in Toronto, it would be, I mean, don't ironclad it. Don't change your schedule around, but that's what I've heard anyway, for those that are interested. Anyway, as for the Lightning, I mean, look, it's hard to know what to make of everything. I mean, you have to separate it out. So on Thursday night, they played at Long Island. They kept Anthony Cirelli and Brandon Hagel out of their lineup with what they called lower body injuries. Now, is that the time of year where you're just resting some bumps and bruises? I mean, we've seen the Leafs sit Mark Giordano, Mitch Marner, Morgan Riley in some recent games, kind of in a load management style. So maybe it's that. What was different is seeing Tanner Jeannot leave the ice needing assistance, not being able to put any weight on his right leg after falling really awkwardly and kind of having his leg pinned under him in that game. After the fact, John Cooper said that he's, very highly concerned about the status of his winger. In addition to that, Pat Maroon actually took a skate up kind of near the rib cage area. He left the game. Eric Cernak sat out. So yes, I mean, the Lightning definitely are contending with some injuries and bumps and bruises. But, beyond the Jeannot situation, which does look like that could be a significant injury suffered in that game, it's hard to know what the rest is. This just, healing up before the playoffs and these guys are going to play or not. And so, this being this close to the playoffs, we're probably not going to find out maybe till game one. I mean, who knows, depending on how these things are. But certainly it's going the wrong way for Tampa. I would say for the Leafs, after clinching home ice advantage in that first round series, the only thing that matters in the 4 remaining regular season games is just getting through them as healthy as possible. Because now they've clinched home ice against the Lightning. There really is very little to play for. I mean, we could point to some personal milestones. Mitch Marner has a chance at 100 points. Nylander and Matthews got a shot at 40 goals, but I really don't think those things matter too much. Especially when you see what's going on in Tampa. Now, the Leafs don't have the cap room to sit half their team or anything like that. I mean, there's ways they can get creative. I'm sure at some point they're going to sign Matthew Nyes here in the coming days, and I'm sure he'll get a couple games, which allows them to sit someone down among the forwards. But this is all about roster management at this point in time, and I think it's a huge sign for Toronto that not only did Ryan O'Reilly play his first game in 33 days on Thursday night, I thought he looked really good. For someone coming off a surgically repaired finger, his left index finger, he was able to take faceoffs. It certainly was kind of in a third line versus third line matchup and got the better of those minutes. He and his line mates, which were Alex Kerfoot and Noel Acciari. And so I think that's a good sign for Toronto. Their big deadline edition, it appears to be, in the form you'd hope, as the playoffs are coming around the corner here. And unfortunately for Tampa, their big deadline edition is much in question.